Momo for the introduction, and thanks everyone and joining in our session here. We are going to share our screen. Oh, may say be with tap may settle, no? Okay. So, as you see on the screen, these are the agenda that we are going to share today. So, what you will observe from today's presentation is that first thing is how Minmahaw started, and then follow up with the two Minmahaw programs, and we will continue with several strategy processes such as autonomy and cooperative work, critical and creative thinking, current event projects, and intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, assessment and evaluation, networking. And then the last part will be what we want our students to become. And at last, you need to pay attention to the session where we will share what you need to keep in your mind. So I will give the time to go here to present about how Minmahaw School started. Thank you. Yes, thanks everyone. So for the introduction, so I will be speaking in Burmese. Alo mengalawa, jono di Minmahaw ke agenda go jono pamalo be shimpya bang. Di no jono siya niyaw ka sabi yo to English lo di 7 strategy ne patata ko sabi pyo pya wala. Aro jono di Minmahaw go 2009 ခုနှစ်မှာစပြီးတော့ဖွင့်လှစ်ခဲ့တယ်။အဓိကရည်ရွယ်ချက်ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီနယ်စပ်ဒေသမှာရှိတဲ့ကျောင်းသားတွေဒီတက္ကသိုလ်ပညာရေးကိုဆက်ပြီးတော့သင်နိုင်မှုရည်ရွယ်ပြီးတော့ဖွင့်လှစ်ခဲ့တာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ကျွန်တော်တို့ program အနေနဲ့ဒီတက္ကသိုလ်ပညာရေးကိုသွားဖို့ brace လုပ်ပေးတဲ့ program လည်းဖြစ်တယ်။အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကျောင်းသားအများစုကတော့ဒီဒုက္ခသည် scan တွေကလာတယ်။နောက်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီရွှေပြောင်းဒေသမှာနေထိုင်နေတဲ့ကလေးတွေဒီပေါ်နော်ဒီ time မြန်မာပေါ်တာမှာနေတဲ့ကလေးတွေကကျွန်တော်အများစုဖြစ်ပါတယ်။နောက်အားလုံးသိတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီနယ်စပ်ဒေသမှာဆိုရင်ဒီ INGO တွေရှိတယ်နောက် local NGO တွေရှိတယ် CBO တွေနောက်ဒီဘာသာရေးအဖွဲ့အစည်းတွေကနေပြီးတော့ဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ပညာရေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ဒီမူလတန်းပညာရေးနောက်အလယ်တန်းပညာရေးတွေကိုလှုပ်ဆောင်နေတာတွေအများကြီးရှိပါတယ်။နောက်တစ်ခုကဒီ curriculum နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ဒီဖွံ့ဖြိုးတိုးတက်အောင်လုပ်တာတွေနောက်ဆရာပြည့်သင်တန်းတွေဒီရွှေပြောင်းဆရာမတွေကိုဆရာပြည့်သင်တန်းတွေပေးတာတွေလုပ်တဲ့ program တွေအများကြီးရှိတယ်။ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီကျောင်းသားအများစုကဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီနယ်စပ်မှာကျောင်းပြီးသွားလို့ရှိရင်သူတို့မှာအတိအမှတ်ပြုခံရတဲ့ certificate မရှိပါဘူး။သူတို့မှာ recognition မရှိဘူး။နောက်တချို့ကျောင်းသားတွေကတက္ကသိုလ်တွေဆက်တက်ချင်တဲ့ကျောင်းသူကျောင်းသားတွေအတွက်ဒီအတိအမှတ်ပြုတဲ့ certificate ကအရင်အရေးကြီးတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီနယ်စပ်ဒေသမှာကျောင်းပြီးတဲ့ကျောင်းတော်တော်များများမှာအဲ့ဒီ certificate မရှိဘူးဒီမှာဒီ high school ပြီးတဲ့ကျောင်းသားအများစုကတချို့ကအရေးသွေးရှိတယ်သူတို့ qualify ဖြစ်တဲ့ university ဆက်တက်ဖို့ဒါပေမဲ့သူတို့ကိုစနစ်တကျဒီသင်ကြားပေးတဲ့ program တွေကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီကျောင်းစာဖွင့်တဲ့အချိန်မှာမရှိသေးတဲ့အတွက်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီအခက်အခဲကိုဒီဖြစ်ရှင်းတဲ့အနေနဲ့ဒီ Minmahaw အကြောင်းဒီ2009ခုနှစ်မှာစပြီးတော့ဖွင့်ခဲ့တာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီမှာအခုဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ Minmahaw အနေနဲ့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင် program 2ခုရှိတယ်ပေါ့နော်တခုကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ Minmahaw School ပေါ့အများစုက Minmahaw Post လို့လည်းသိကြတယ်နောက်တစ်ခုကကျွန်တော်တို့ Minmahaw Higher Education Program နော်အများစုက Minmahaw GED လို့သိကြတယ်ဒီ Minmahaw School အနေနဲ့ကကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီဘက်မှာရှိတဲ့ဒီ English နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ language အားနည်းတဲ့ကျောင်းသားတွေတခြားဘာသာရပ်တွေနောက် science တို့ math တို့ social တို့အားနည်းတဲ့ကျောင်းသားတွေကိုအဓိကကျွန်တော်တို့နောက်ထပ် higher education level တစ်ခုကိုသွားနိုင်ဖို့ရည်ရွယ်ပြီးတော့ running program ဖြစ်တယ်နောက်ဒီ Minmahaw Higher Education Program Minmahaw GED ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အားလုံးသိတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲကျွန်တော်တို့ GED curriculum ကိုသင်ကြားပေးတာဖြစ်တယ်ဒီကျောင်းသားတွေဒီတစ်နှစ်အတွင်းမှာ GED ဒီစာမိုးဝဲဖြည့်နိုင်အောင်လို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ program အနေနဲ့သင်ကြားပေးတယ် ID တင်ကြားနေတဲ့နှစ်အတွင်းမှာလည်းကျွန်တော်ဆရာတွေကဒီ scholarship ပညာသင်စုနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ဘယ်လိုတွေရှောက်ရတယ်ဘယ်တွေကနေ scholar ရတယ်ဆိုတော့ဆရာတွေက guide လုပ်ပေးတယ်နောက်တက္ကသိုလ်တွေသူတို့သွားခြင်းတဲ့တက္ကသိုလ်တွေသူတို့လေ့လာခြင်းတဲ့ဘာသာရပ်တွေကိုဆရာတွေကနေဘယ်မှာ apply လုပ်လို့ရတယ်ရှောက်လို့ရတယ်ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်သင်ကြားပေးတဲ့ program ဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ Minmahaw စတင်ခဲ့တဲ့အခါကိုကျွန်တော်အနေနဲ့အကျဉ်းချုပ်ပြီးတော့ပြောပြပေးရဖြစ်ပါတယ်Now I would like to invite my two colleagues will be presenting about the 7 strategy.
So from the 7 strategies that we've decided that both programs actually include through how they are all implemented through how all the projects and all the subjects that we included in our syllabus. And the first one that we've chosen, it was autonomy. We decided that it was autonomy, one of the most important ones, what we want the students to develop during the whole academic year, because our students, when they come and whether they are coming from because of their background or their context, they are really dependent. So what we would like them to be capable of once they finish Minmahaw, it would be that they are taking their own decisions, that they control and responsibility of their own learning, both in what they want to learn and how they want to learn it. By doing so, we mostly focus on some different points that we've listed in here. One would be like the time management. We want them to be able and capable of organizing themselves when working in groups and during the whole academic year, because they have to organize themselves when having some duties in which we have cooking, gardening, and cleaning, so that they would have to create their own timetable. They are given also some timetables in terms of academics, but they would have to create their own timetables for scheduling their own self-studies and duties among the groups that they've created by themselves. Later on, another thing that we believe is really important from Minmahaw is the students' leaders. We'll have a president, vice president, a treasurer, and then boys and girls dorm leader. These 5 students that are chosen by the same students are the ones that are creating these schedules for the rest of the students, and they are the main core of the organization of the school, which they will be the ones that are the liaison among management team and teachers, and they would have to schedule their own meetings with the rest of the students in order to listen to their suggestions and advice and anything that they want to approach to the school management team. Later on, we also have some free time and self-study times that are different. There are different slots in the timetables that among teachers, students, and managers we created. During the free time, students decide what they want to study, or if they want to practice some sports or any other creative skills that they want to develop, that it could be like music, or it could be more related to art, or just reading a book. And for their self-study times, it's mostly focused that they are scheduled during the day or during the nighttime. Those slots are just time that it's available for students to decide what they want to do. If they want to do some homework with the rest of the students in order to do and come up and carry out some projects, or basically if they finished whatever it's their duties that needed to be done, they have the time to go on internet, they have the computers available, and learn whatever is the subject or topic that they are interested in. Later on, last but not least, there is a student mentoring program and counseling. This is a really important part of Minmahaw, which is on one-on-one sessions or whole group sessions that the teachers, managers, and students we gather. And mostly it's like in this moment individualized approach in which students are guided, and we facilitate some of the resources or skills that they would have to develop once they finish Minmahaw. So we work on the resume or CVs, we work on cover letters, we work on job opportunities or educational opportunities research. Later on, we also practice on how to go through interview process so that once students have finished Minmahaw School and MHEP, they could go on to the next educational or career pathways, and they would be capable of applying by themselves and filling out application forms, which is sometimes very challenging. And with these skills that they've developed during the whole year in one-on-one sessions or whole group sessions, they are capable of doing so and continue their career or the educational pathways. Okay. For the next strategy.
All right. So the next strategy is cooperative work. So in cooperative work, all of the things that we provide here are important for both teachers and students, and it is a very crucial key for Minmahaw as a team. So first of all, I would like to explain about what is gender balance in group work. So what we mean by gender balance in group is that whether it is male, female, boys or girls, the challenge, the opportunity, everything will be the same. There will be no discrimination. Again, there will be no discrimination among teacher or the team as well, based on gender balance. And when it came to a multicultural environment, we want to celebrate, we want to continue as a teacher, we have to make sure that students understand what is cultural differences among diverse ethnicities at MHEP, because at Minmahaw, there are diverse ethnicity every year. So we would like to make sure that there will be no misunderstanding among themselves. The reason is that as the student came from different background, diverse background, they might not understand what specific ethnic cultural belief and their ethic. So we have to make sure that when they are all together at the school, we have to make sure that they follow up with the school rule and without any discrimination. So there will be misunderstanding, because they don't learn before. Maybe the first time they never learn. For example, maybe I'm from Korea and I never understand or never experience how moon celebration are, celebrate, or how their tradition are held. So maybe I don't understand that. Maybe I might, have made a mistake, thing I don't understand. So we have to make sure that those problems don't happen at Minmahaw School here. So another topic will be student leaders and role. So for the students, leaders and role, we want the student to experience how important being a good leader or followers. So to help the student with that matter, we have the student election every semester. So in 1 year we have 4 semesters. So every 3 months, the student will have student election. So they will choose the president, vice president, treasurer, based on what your school provide for the leader role, class leader, dorm leader, things like that. So we provide that the student will choose their leader. So in the student election, student will choose the president, vice president again. Then the student election will be held every 3 months again. Okay? So on the other hand, we also give the opportunity to the students who are good at different skills. It doesn't need to be like academically. For example, there will be students who are good at computer. So maybe at the school, we give him opportunity to solve that problem, maintain the computer. Those who are good at decoration, maybe they are the one who decorate, things when we celebrate school anniversary or when we have a celebration of birthday party, thing like that. So, it's not only about academically, but it is also include their personal and growth, throughout the academic year here. So this is, what we want the student to help each other and to build up opportunity to one another. So when we say help students each other to reach the same goal, what we mean by that is that, there are information or opportunity that we, as a teacher, we could not reach out. And the suggestion or the advice we came from the student, we need to take it. We need to accept it and offer this opportunity toward the student. For example, at Minmahaw School, 2 or 3 years ago, as a team, we do not know there were a authorized scholarship opportunity. What we know is Prosper Burma, China Dream, or other scholarship only. So one of the students come out with the scholarship. Okay, teacher, there is a authorized for female student. Shall we apply it? So this is how the cooperative work or help each other among the student. So we need to give the the opportunity or help the student, to reach your goal together as a family.
As a third strategy and skills that we want the students to develop during the whole academic year, it would be the critical and creative thinking. Critical and creative thinking is the underpinning principle to all areas and projects and subjects that are throughout the academic year. Because one thing that we would like to make them develop is like clear and accurate communication of beliefs and opinions. Also, confidence in an English environment when having to present themselves, or basically the communicative skills. Also, improved in decision making, and also develop different thinking abilities for personal growth in an environment of openness, respect, and support. How do we work on these competencies that we want students to develop? By during the whole academic year, we have mostly focused on experiential learning, in which we work a lot with the computers and we do a lot of experiments. For example, in science class, we work a lot with crafts, and it's not basically in one subject that it would be like computers class, but computers is used, like the computers are used in all subjects throughout the whole academic year, and it would be work through presentations, working on online approach with Zooms and different apps that could be used in an online approach. With the experiments, for example, in science, they would have to come up with their own experiments based on the topic that we are working on in the class. We also, one of the things that we do is like we ask students, because we have our core subjects, but later on we have the chance to come up with new subjects that students would be interested in. So we present the opportunity to students to decide and choose what extracurricular subjects they would be willing to have. That it could go from journalism, or it could go more to an artistic one, that it could go from drama or any other type of extracurricular activity. We want, and we try to work on this because we promote also the decision making, as mentioned, when they have to choose, for example, different subjects or the topics they want to work on during the academic year. We also promote these problem solving skills in different subjects and during the whole academic year. And for example, during this since the COVID, that we've been facing quite a lot of obstacles in order to do a face-to-face class. So that was also part of, it was kind of like a barrier, but it led to the opportunity for not only management team and the teachers, but also students to come up with ideas that we could work all together in order to provide as much quality education as possible. Obviously, as mentioned before, with the cooperative work, open-mindedness, and other points that we are always open to have. We have some activities, for example, for science, that students would come up with some specific topics in which students would have to choose their own experiments that they would have to present to the rest of the students. They would become their own teachers. So the teacher would sit down and step back and just enjoy the performance of the rest of the students. By using different rubric assessments, students would have to give some grades and give some positive reinforcement to the students that are actually presenting. They would also be part of those presentations. So the students that are the ones presenting would include the audience to participate in their experiments. And basically it would be a beautiful environment of learning and experimenting by trial and error when preparing those experiments.
All right, so this is intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So, at Minmahaw, one of our goals is that we want the student to become a role model, because one day they will go to workplace. Some of them might be go to university. Some of them might be working in organization. So we want them to bring what they have learned at Minmahaw School and apply it and be a role model, because we want them to be inspired by the other people, and so that they can see the image and the quality of how we train our students at Minmahaw School. And we believe that it can be inspired for the other people as well, as those who are the same situation, like other program in Minnesota area or inside Myanmar, those who have their own program or private school, things like that. Maybe they might meet each other when they're there. So their behavior, their ethic, their performance, maybe they bring them to inspire them based on what we taught them, what we train them, and it will be the change for the community as well. So apart from the academic year at MHEP, we also have student exchange. So we all know how important student exchange is, right? So the purpose of student exchange is that we want the student to learn and share different experience among themselves, observe importance of different learning from different people or different programs or different schools. So currently, we do not have that type of student exchange anymore because of COVID, and we could not do that. So we hope after, if the COVID situation is come down, and we will proceed with the student exchange again. So when it came to encouragement and award, we need to be aware of that. Sometimes it is important to have some more conversation with the students individually, because it is important to have the student individual approach when it came to the student performance. So there will be some students in the class, they are shy, maybe they are the first time, they never been in the dorm, or maybe their family came from a very poor background, maybe they are fatherless, they are motherless. So those students in the class, they might not, speak out well, or maybe sometimes their performance might be weak or lower compared to the other students. So in that case, we need, as a student, we need individual approach and encouragement to, lift the level of the student in private time or, in outside of the class. So another thing is that as a teacher, sometimes you need to be aware of how you teach also, because different students have different learning style, different structure. So we need to be aware that some students might learn through visual learning, some students might learn through, auditory, things like that. So we need to be aware of that. So award. Now, when we give the award to the student, it's not only about the academically, those students who behave well and follow the school rule, and not only inside the class, outside the class, maybe community work involved in, right? Help the teacher, help his friend to improve the math. Maybe those who are good at math, improve, help one of his or her friend to, pass the exam. Those type of award we are trying to see. So, regarding this, this is not only for academic, also for their personal growth as well. So, every year we have celebration. The whole year we have celebration like Christmas party, the Rangel, school year anniversary. The reason why we do the celebration is that we don't want students to be always learning or study and get depressed with education. We also want them to have fun sometimes. So, when they have the activity like that, they will remember it, like helping each other, togetherness and happiness and joyfulness that they has been as a Minmahaw School student. So, one of the more crucial things in celebration is that we have a student school anniversary. So every year we have the school anniversary, and from our student, they will come back. Those from our students are from, maybe some are in workplace, some are from university, some are from NGO. Those are coming back and they share their knowledge, their experience, and encourage their current students to get inspired, encouragement, and give them motivation to pass the exam, to get scholarship. And if they don't get scholarship, there is a job that they can look for, they can apply for it, things like that. So every year we have an alumni meeting with the current student as well. So these are the celebration that we have every year at the Minmahaw School.
The next topic that we've chosen, it would be current event projects. What we try to do with this, it would be also, again, in all subjects and many projects that we carry out during the whole year, it would be topics that are relevant and that are happening now during the year around the world. So that we not only focus, and we try to focus in Southeast Asia as much as we can, but there are so many things happening around the world that are simultaneously happening, and sometimes they are similar to what the students or the context around here is actually facing. So we also try to work on a lot of news articles And we also try to bring some lecturers or community leaders that could actually bring some knowledge to the students in a different way, or we bring, if possible, now with the COVID situation, it's a little bit more difficult, but we try to go to different organizations that are like in terms of advocacy or human rights, like the APP, that we would be able to visit and get some lectures from community leaders. Later on, we try to follow the sustainable development goals. So once we are learning, for example, in English class, rather than having sometimes boring reading comprehension text, we could actually come up with texts that could get involved, that would be including some topics that would be really enriching and relevant for students. That could go from reduce inequalities, life below water, quality education, gender equality. So something that we can go beyond the simple text, but go beyond, and that would lead to discussions and great projects. We do some community projects also in order to involve students into the community, because already the students have in mind that when they are coming, is like, I want to get education in order to become an educated person and go back to my village or community and help them out in one way or another. So in Minmahaw, what we try is that they already have this small experience on how to come up with a project. What are the things that we need to take into account? So we need to have like a needs assessment, like what is my community they would need or they have lack of? What would be the budget? How to create this accounting part and how to get the sponsors? And finally, have a final outcome based on this project that they've came up with, so that when they finished Minmahaw, or they graduate, or they go to an organization, they already have some basic knowledge on how to do community projects. Later on, and really important, we have subjects like sexual and reproductive health and rights, climate change topics, community leader lectures, world affairs, and other projects that would benefit students' knowledge in future.
All right. So assessment and evaluation, I think this is will be done by many schools also. So when it came to assessment and evaluation, it is important for the teachers to know each student's improvement throughout the whole year. So at Minmahaw School, at the end of every semester, or at the end of topic, or at the end of academic years, we take the survey form or evaluation form, whether it matches with the student certification or teacher certification, or whether the student improve or not. We need to make evaluation every semester that we take the account. So, for example, we will give student the student report card, so that student can see, how they improve or how they do with each subject, whether their attendance is full or not, whether their participation class participation increase or not, so daily or weekly or monthly. This is very important for us to make evaluation. And so growth and proficiency, again, the purpose of taking evaluation is like to get overall knowledge to the student certification, because day by day, as students, they grow, when we take the evaluation, we don't want them to take learning, okay, today is important, I need to do that today. We don't want that today like that. We want them to learn day by day and improve, over all year. So what we believe is like day by day, learning is not that much important, but every day improvement is more important than day by day learning. So we believe that when you're at Minmahaw, it is enough if we train the student well and make evaluation with all the proficiency, grow overall proficiency, and evaluation, self-assessment like that. And we believe that this will improve both teacher and student. So another thing I would like to talk about is transcript and report card also. So when the student, sometimes when you give the transcript and their report card, they might feel down. They might feel unhappy based on their results. So those students, you need to be aware of them. You need to make sure that why do they not really open, for example, if the student, while the student is performing very poor in the class participation, maybe he is shy, maybe he is not able to speak, maybe he is very weak in standing in front of the, speak out in front of the audience. So this is what we need to learn. So what we can do is, taught them, have conversation with them outside the class, not only inside the class, outside the class, and you can encourage them and they will speak up later. You will find it out. And I think this is a very important part. Okay. Okay. So, you know, teacher, another thing that I would like to talk about is we usually help student to student and teacher to the student as well. The reason is that, you know, sometimes as a teacher, you will not know your student more than the student themselves. So the student themselves, they help each other. Sometimes they don't come and ask what they need to know, what they do not understand. But if they talk to themselves, the student themselves among themselves, they talk, they share their experience, what they do not understand in the lesson. So sometimes the student, they joke around, you know, you are better than the teacher because you explain the lesson better than the teacher, thing like that. So this is, you know, you need to give the opportunity for the student as well, you know, self and motivation.
The last point that we wanted to highlight, it was networking. At Minmahaw, we believe that because we are all in this together, we need to help each other. Not because we are one organization, we need to focus only by ourselves in everything that we want to achieve. So the more organizations, the more individuals that are joining forces, actually the better. And it's basically because it's a mutual benefit. Last year, we had teachers from 11 different countries, but not only teachers, but we had projects and organizations that were coming from overseas. There was a very interesting project with Hong Kongese and Singaporean university students that they joined forces, and we did an online project in which it was focused on learning English to improve and foster the communicative skills. So these students were not only learning how to teach, the ones from the university, but actually they were learning about the culture of our students. And our students were teaching these university students about themselves and about the situation in here, and also different ways of thinking, which it would bring to develop cross-cultural understanding and a lot of other stuff that it would be really enriching for both sides. It's not only about academics, but it's also joining forces in order to raise awareness about the situation in here in the border or in Myanmar. Also, in order to get scholarships, the more organizations that we work together with, we would have the chance to have more organizations and scholarships available. That this would lead to more opportunities for students. One thing that we always promote and value from students is that we don't choose one pathway. We take one of the goals that we've decided and worked on, and later on we have backup plans. The more organizations that are providing some opportunities, more opportunities that our students and more chances our students will have once they finish Minmahaw. So the more people, the merrier. Now, having presented the 7 strategies that we came up with, we would like to let you know what we want our students to become and what we need to keep in mind when applying these 7 strategies.
Now I would like to conclude our presentation. So these are the 7 strategies which made the Minmahaw success. So we want them to become. So we want them to go back to their community and work in the different organization. And also we want them to apply their skill to change their community. And we want them to become a community leader. And we want them to be perspective of the world. And we want them to see what are the problems in the community and country and trying to get involved in the solution. So learning by this strategy, so they will become more confident. So they know what they are good at. They know what they like. They know what they want. And when they going back to their community, they are capable of their working together with the key people and stakeholder in the community in order to get involved in the changing they wanted to see in the community. So now most of our students are working in many different organizations. Going to next. You were talking.
So some of the things that we need to keep in mind when working on these strategies, it would be every student would not develop all the skills and in the same pace. So it might take more time to develop one more than another. And this would depend on the background. This would be depending on in terms of academical, economical, socio-political backgrounds, depending on the schools they've been into basically. So, and basically each person is different, and that would make the school special. But we have to take into account that it would not be the same for everyone. Then, as teachers and management team, we need to be really patient and flexible. So, not because one student is going a little bit slow, it's that you or the team or the student has a problem. It's that we just need to be patient and take it easy. And the same way that we want to motivate the students, our team needs to motivate themselves and feel confident that this person might need some more time to develop those skills that we are that we are working on in the class. Obviously, be flexible. In this situation with, for example, with the COVID, we had to rearrange everything. So let's be flexible and take one step at a time. Not because we want to do everything at the same time, we are going to be achieving better the mission. One step at a time, and we're going to make it happen little by little. Another thing that we need to take into account, that it's clear and fair rules. Since the first day that the students are arriving to school, they have the documents printed and in a soft copy also the rules of Minmahaw School. Why? Because what we want is them to understand and clearly read and comprehend every little detail that they would have to follow up with. But as a team of teachers and managers, we need to be open to adapt and change, because the situation, it's not the same every year. And the students are also different, coming from different backgrounds, ethnicities, religions, genders, and we have a wide range of even ages. So we need to be open to adapt and change. So when the students are meeting and they are reading those rules that have been established during the years, we would have to be open to listen to them and then accept that, probably get these suggestions, and then maybe there is a rule that does not make sense anymore. So we should change it, adapt it, or remove it directly. One more thing that is really important for the team is constant communication among ourselves. We need to communicate. We need to talk a lot. It's true. If we don't, we sometimes are a little bit tired of the meetings, but those meetings, it depends on how we approach it. It's all about meetings, live in here with the post-secondary environment. It's all about meetings, but we need to learn how to do those meetings and create those spaces for us to be able to communicate, know what's going on in terms of management team, in terms of students, and in terms of teachers, so that we can all help each other.
All right. So another thing that you need to keep in mind is be creative and not afraid of asking for support. So again, it is for both teacher and student. So when we say be creative, we need to keep in mind that as a teacher, we are not perfect. We cannot say that we are always, what we teach is always true. Sometimes what we learn is a mistake, because it is what we believe that we thought that this is true, so we are teaching that the wrong thing. Sometimes it can happen. So we need to keep in mind, if we made a mistake, we need to understand where went wrong, and we need to make sure that not to happen again. And if we are very weak in controlling the class, or as a team you are weak in one of your area, you need to be able to ask feedback from your member or your friend. You don't need to be afraid, or you need to be ashamed to ask that help from the member of the team. Also, you need to always support the student as well. Sometimes students also might be the same situation like we. They are also busy with all the subject, all their family problem, things like that. So we also need to help them with regarding to their academic, their family problem, their relationship, whatsoever, their financial problem, things like that. So we need to give support all the way. So another thing is we need to know our weakness. Knowing yourself, knowing your weakness is not shame, because you always improve yourself. Sometimes as a team, something did not went well, so we cannot blame he or she. We need to improve ourselves and improve where we need to focus on. So this is what we need to use our strength again. So there will be some member that we have are good at something, and we need to take his strength or ask for help and to fix your weakness within ourselves. So harmonization will be like, whether we win or lose, this is we are all together. If the problem happens, we don't blame each other. We as a team again, we take the responsibility. We don't blame, okay, your weakness, why you don't do that? We never do that. This is what you need to keep in mind. So another important is safe space for the student and the term for sharing. So what we mean by is that, the team for sharing is that, sometimes we might have hardship within ourselves or to the others. It will be the same for the student as well. So we need a space where they can share, they can openly talk, and what is going on with their life, where they feel comfortable and speak up and share this thing, and they would like to talk, and we can understand why they would like to have, conversation with us or help to solve the problem together among the team or at a school, So this is very important also. So sharing, very important. Bonding. So, sometimes we forget bonding, how important bonding is, We sometimes, as a team, if you only focus on yourself, something will went wrong. Your school or your program will not be successful as you expected. So the bonding is not be, for example, if you are teachers, your bonding should be outside of the class as well. There will be a situation where one of the students never asked the question. Maybe he is afraid of you, or maybe in the class there is problem within themselves, or maybe there is he or she doesn't understand the lesson that we are teaching. So we need to approach them by creating bonding. So bonding can be outside the class. Maybe we see like not only in the class, outside the class. We talk to them, hey, maybe they might respond to you. This is what we are trying to say.
And with this, we finish our presentation. Hope you liked it. We would like to, right before we go on the Q&A, we would like to show one project that we did with the students, that it was actually a project that it takes all those strategies included in this same project. We're gonna just screen a couple of minutes, because if not, we will not have time for Q&A, but just to get an idea of how all those strategies could be included in here. So we're gonna. We hope you like it.
Bring me up to see the bright wall when I can feel I'm not alone. You inspire me with your words, with your actions and your thoughts. You instruct me to be strong. You instill me to be brave.
Background opinion, language, culture, gender and vision. My skin rise high, feeling a goal, police and road. Place a legend, a background opinion, language, culture, gender and vision. My skin rise high, feeling a goal, police and road. We are what we are. We are standing for the right. Eager to step on the wall, whatever can. We will overcome. Diversity is a strength. We don't see any difference. We are to stand for the world. Whatever comes, we will overcome. You ask me to be strong. You ask me to be brave.
Ngaro ha ngaro be aman taya phat taw da ri kapa ne dan lu phit ko ba ri ne twit jong ma sai ngaro phet jaw me. Ngaro ha ngaro be aman taya phat taw da ri kapa ne dan lu phit ko ba ri ne twit jong ma sai ngaro phet jaw me. Ngaro
So with this, we finish our presentation. If you want to watch the whole video clip, you can go to our Facebook or website and you could finish it up. The idea is that the students were the ones that were creating the lyrics, were finding and creating the bass. They would have to meet and decide what to record and where to record the voice. They had some small budget and they had to decide where to put it and what to use it for and what message they would actually send with this song. And if you have any question, please, we would be really happy to hear your thoughts or read on the chat.
The biggest challenge is the document. So at the beginning of the Minmahaw School, so our student, we train the GED code. So the student, he has, they don't have any legal document. So the GED test center in Bangkok. So it was a very difficult time to arrange students going to Bangkok to take the GED test. These are our biggest challenges for our program. Yes, we did have it, but now we are not sure. So we need to discuss in our team. Yeah, because of due to the current situation in Myanmar. Yeah, we cannot say we are moving or not right now.
But we would probably be happy to talk with other programs, for example, with a conference like this, to talk with programs in case someone would like to get some suggestions, advice, or just hear a little bit more about how we work in here. And we would also benefit from the knowledge that you would be able to share. So that we would gladly be having some video calls if necessary, or send some information and share it with you all.
Okay, so regarding this question, it is quite, of course, it is quite a very big curriculum to follow up. But if you, as the teachers, if you really focus on what you have to teach, it will be all right. The reason is that there are many resources. We use the book, Kaplan, we use the McGraw-Hill textbook, things like that from GD textbook, and the curriculum are from those books. Those books are established by US government also. It can be private publisher or government publisher. We use those books, and based on their topic, we teach the student. So we need to keep in mind that those topics are only small part of their curriculum, the textbook. As a teacher, we need to go through internet and read a lot of information based on the topic. So for example, I'm teaching social study. There are, time is very long. So I need to really focus on based on what they write in the textbook. I need to expand my knowledge by reading, get the information, and find out more and teach to the student for the whole year. This is how, as a teacher, we need to approach the curriculum process and how to solve this curriculum problem for the student. Yes, this is only one of the subjects that we are doing here. Yes. So this again the same for science. I have been teaching science and social studies. So science also the same. So basically, science is like universal knowledge. So it doesn't matter. You are India, you are from Myanmar, you are from China. The formula, the knowledge are the same. So that's all right. You can teach that. You can get curriculum from Myanmar. You can teach to the student here also. No problem.
And experiment a lot.
Yeah, experiment are the same process, everything is the same. Yeah. So teaching, so this is just like for our school, it is just we formed by ourselves, right? So internationally, whether they accept it or not, we don't really know, but the certificate that the student will receive, we accept them by internationally. So
the accreditation is recognized.
Yeah. So
but the teaching and learning is a little bit, it's the same as we ask students to explore, try things.
Yes.
We do actually the same. Like sometimes we copy a lot among the teachers. It's like, wow, one teacher and a lot of the team are former students. That is the greatest part of Minmahaw School. The students some of them got into university, graduated with an educational major, and they go back, they come back here and they work in the Minmahaw Higher Education Program and the Minmahaw School. So we have teachers, vice principal, general managers that are all former students and graduates. So we learn from each other a lot, and we explore, we try, and we try to be as creative as possible and ask a lot of feedback from students.
Yeah, sometimes it is problem. We have the same recruitment process with the other program, but for us, we open for everyone. They can apply in our program. So now we are also trying to work together with the other GED program, not having the same entrance exam day. So students, they got a chance to apply for the each program. Yeah.
And for the non-GED, we don't go through any placement test.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.